All right, it's the Photography Brothers podcast, and you know what we do here. We open with some banter, and obvious banter today, unavoidable. We have to talk about my co-host's new look. So I don't know. Let's just give a round of applause for Michael, his bravery. Embracing the new look here with the beard. The bald head. We're gonna get into who maybe some looks that inspired this, but for now we'll do a short round of applause. All right, that's pretty good for a round of applause, Michael. Well done. What inspired this dramatic choice, buddy?
Okay, well, I was balding a lot already, and I thought, hey, commit. Go with what your body's doing. You know what I mean? No, it all. I had my hair real long. It was cool, but unless it was in a bun, it was kind of like, oh my god, do I really know like that it looks good or not? And it was just annoying. You guys know if you're going through thinning hair and stuff, it's annoying. But I got to a point where I was just like, fuck it. Like I'm gonna get to this point where I'm like comfortable with it and it's cool and whatever. And I actually don't mind it, so that helps. But ultimately, just really wanted to channel my inner Dominic Toretto. Nice, man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So good to know that it was Dom, friend of the podcast that helped you in your decision. And yeah. I love it, man. I think that once the tan line kind of,
yes.
the tan on the top of the head gets in there.
I'm working on it.
It's gonna look more. It's gonna look a lot more natural, and it's gonna look good. But we're not here to talk about hair. This isn't a hair podcast. I did have. What? I do have a great song for everybody, but I don't know. Loop the music a couple more times, I guess. Let's talk about experiences from our childhood, because I do like when those moments come up. I think that's always fun, I wanted to ask you, Michael, what was let's say like even grade 5, grade 6, like later elementary school times, something that happened to you, an experience you had that taught you a valuable life lesson.
Oh, wow. You're going life lesson. You can't just at the end be like, by the way, it taught you something significant that influenced you throughout the rest of your life. How do you just drop that at the very end?
Well, what do you got, bro? Let's go. You got to keep the photographer brain. You don't even have to worry about your hair, what style it is anymore. You got lots of brain power to commit to figuring this out.
I'm going to say, I think like my first job is around that time delivering newspapers.
Okay.
So that was like, I guess, like value of the dollar, but also criminally underpaid. I mean, I was getting paid like $70 a month. So, one video game basically was all I got. How about you?
That's a good one, man. Taught you the value of money and the hard work that you have to do to get it, right? So I dig that.
Yep.
For me, I'm going to say when me and my friends, how many members of the Backstreet Boys are there? Are there 4?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I think there's 5. I
think
there's
5? Because I can only remember.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay. There must have been more of us then. Christopher Barkel or whatever the heck his name is. It was him.
I will confirm, but
how many members of the Backstreet Boys are there? Anyways, me, Christopher Barkel, I think was the kid's name. My friend Brandon Bailey, and Derek Caldwell. We formed our own Backstreet Boys, and we wanted to be in a talent show, and we tried out for the talent show. I guess we had one more guy. Maybe it was Scarred, but I feel like it wasn't. Anyways, could have been. Sorry to Scarred if it wasn't you. But we didn't make it past the first round there. So
no way.
Yeah, we never got to perform as the Backstreet Boys. We didn't make it past auditions.
That's unfortunate, man. I will let you know though, there are confirmed 5. There's Nick, Kevin, Brian, AJ, and Howie. I think Howie is forgotten often.
Yeah, so we must have had somebody else. I'm gonna say it must have been Scarred, but I'm not sure. Anyways, the life lesson that I learned there though was that I'm never going to be a boy band member. I kind of let that dream die right there and figured out. I better learn how to use a camera or learn how to play the guitar. So
right.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of playing the guitar. I'm going to play some guitar for you guys.
All right.
Ooh, okay, let's do that. Okay, so today's song is, often we'll go with if it's Michael, we'll go with more of a singer-songwriter type of thing. Usually if it's me, you guys will get like a classic rock tune. This time, though, we're going to go really classic, and this is a arrangement of a tune by a man you may have heard of, Johann Bach. And we're going to get into this right here. Are you ready, Michael?
Let's go, Johann. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're going all in on this one. I am here with my bro to talk about photos. Now it's time to start the show. Okay, good enough.
Attaboy.
Dear listeners,
You got a line out.
Yeah, that was okay. Not terrible. I am your photographer, Jared Poirier. Maybe I got a little bit too optimistic on that song, but I am here with another, I was going to say another bald photographer, but I'm not bald yet. Who are you, buddy?
I'm also not technically bald. I shave it down to a 0.8. So it's a really short buzz. But my name is Michael Costa. I'm also a photographer. And I mean, that's kind of the point, right? We're both photographers and shit. But hey, we're out here. We're going to have a great show today. Me and Jared are very excited about it. Jared, how do you want to start this thing off? I guess we got to do the topic, eh?
Yeah, we've got I'm going to say a fun topic today from Michael Costa. And from me, we have a anger-inducing news story that's going to get everybody pissed because they pissed me off this week.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to try to rein in the anger a little bit. When we get into the news, it's going to be not that fun to be honest. But I think it's very important that we cover this news story. So it's going to be kind of an environmental news story, but very, very important one to cover. But before we get into that, we can do Michael's topic. What's your topic, Michael?
My topic is around some simple camera hacks that you can do to up your photo game or just to play around a bit with photography.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is a fantastic idea for a topic. When you brought it up, though, earlier today, we didn't prep for this episode as much as
no.
I did a lot of research for the news segment, so that one's going to be more prep heavy, more research heavy. For this, when Michael brought this to me, I was like, man, I don't think I know that many camera hacks. And then I went on a bike ride, hit the ramps on my bike a little bit this morning and started thinking about it. And I was like, I know nothing but camera hacks. So I've got a long list of them here. As Michael and I talk about a lot on this show, we're kind of, salt of the earth dudes. We didn't start out in the game with a big leg up and a ton of money. And we've had to, earn our, I don't know. I don't want to use stupid military analogy and say
Earn our place.
Earn our place. Yeah. Had to earn our place, and we've our place in the game. And if I get super distracted, it's because the air show is happening right out in front of me here, and that'll explain why it's also loud. We had to come up and use some pretty crappy cameras at times. I'll be honest, and try to do some pretty intense things with not the most intense gear all the time. So. We've learned some things along the way, and I'm super excited to share some of them with you. You can probably tell that I'm pretty caffeinated right now. So why don't we let Michael start us off on a more mellow pace here and talk a little bit about your first camera hack you want to share with everybody. Maybe we can do just to give a little bit of structure here, and maybe we can do like shooting and then editing after, if you want to.
Oh, editing. True. Okay. I can come up with one for editing.
At least one, bro. Trust me, it's one of those things where once you start thinking about it, and once you start talking about it, you'll be like, and then this, and then that point. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. I guess we'll see. So are we going one by one? Like, sure, I go, you go? Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one I'll add in is one that we've talked about with a guest on the show before. We've addressed it, I think, a couple of times just in conversation, but I think it's just adding foreground blur to your images, just adding that depth. And I made a TikTok about this recently, but I think the nice thing about it is that you can kind of get a few different pluses with this technique. You can get the some added color. You can get a bit more framing, so it kind of really like use the shape of that object that's in the foreground to drive focus on your subject. And also you can add some texture as well, depending on what the object is. If you're using something like a tree, you have some interesting bark textures and stuff like that too. So I think adding foreground blur does a lot for your images, and I wouldn't use it in every like portrait that you take or anything like that, but it's definitely a cool one to have.
Yeah, man, it's worked really well for you. Definitely stands out in your portfolio, those images where you've kind of utilized that and very creatively like held some extra stuff in front of the lens, and like for all those reasons, creating texture, adding color. One of our guests, Broderick, who inspired me to start taking my bike on ramps because I don't do enough dangerous stuff already, is another person who we remarked here on the show. It's nice now that we've got such a big body of work to look back on, Michael.
Yeah.
How we hustle, how we work so hard on this podcast for our dear listeners out there. A couple of ones that I have here. I got a lot, man, and I don't know how we're gonna get to all these. I'm gonna just have to talk fast. Let's talk about tripods, okay? This is the great photographer debate, Michael. Tripods.
Okay.
So you're going out on a shoot, right? Let's say it's a lifestyle shoot, okay? You're gonna take 10 photos. You're gonna meet your model and take some photos. Are you gonna bring a tripod, buddy?
I'm probably not taking.
Probably not. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is such a thing because I feel like I'm kind of like that too, where I'm like, man, maybe I won't bring a tripod unless it's tough. It's tough
more
one.
Gear. It's more you got to
bring.
More
gear. It's more gear that you got to bring. Sometimes you're going to need that. Depends on the type of shoot that you're doing. If I'm doing a photography shoot or something, then hell yeah, I'm going to need that tripod. If you're doing landscapes, you might need that tripod. Anything architectural kind of photography where you need like really, really clean like lines, really clean compositions. Yeah, get that tripod. But for a lifestyle shoot, the last one I did, man, I brought a tripod and I didn't even freaking use it. I'm just carrying it around. Like, what's the point, right? So kind of the camera hack here. There's tripods everywhere that you guys don't think about. I call these street tripods, right? Places where you can put your camera. And I utilize this all the time when I'm vlogging. I've actually done some episodes on this very YouTube channel where I kind of give away some of my vlogging methodology. And yeah, there's stuff where you can leave your camera, man. Like trash cans, there's pillars, there's the Canada Post kind of screwed us over because they made those shits angular, but you can find places, ledges, make sure it's safe to drop your camera there, but again, for certain applications, yeah, you definitely need that tripod, particularly real estate photography. There's no escaping it in that case. Lifestyle, even portrait, if it's outdoor, especially, run and gun shoot, I think you can leave that tripod at home and find some other like street tripods like I talked about.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea if it breaks too. Like, it's like, what do I got? available to me, my surroundings, for sure. That's a good tip,
if your
man.
tripod breaks, which I've never done.
Yeah. Totally didn't notice your broken tripod the last time we shot. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Michael actually did a shoot together pretty recently, so now we kind of know each other's dirty secrets.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of dirty. I don't know.
Kinda dirty.
I know too much, but I'll hop into my next tip here.
Okay.
This is one that I haven't honestly even practiced enough, but it's a good one to try out. So let's paint the picture here, Jared. It's Christmas. All right. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is you celebrate, folks. Okay. But, it's that seasonal cheer, and you want to create some interesting, warm images. And what you've noticed in some of, like, for example, Waffle, what's his name? Brandon Waffles. What's his name? The famous guy. My goodness, the Photography Brothers I don't remember his name either. I think it's Brandon Waffle. He's like really.
Is he on the dope squad with?
He's not,
with Peter.
He's not on the dope squad. He has shot with Peter though.
Yeah, it's the white squad, is what it is.
I know. We need some diversity in that, but
I
know that's actually the topic of the show.
Switching gears. Now we're calling out Peter McKinnon. All right.
I know. Yeah, that's the last thing we should probably do. This guy's like the Drake of the photography world in Toronto. Do we want to? Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well call it Drake while we're at it.
I know. Peter McDrake. I'm not sure. Anyways, on to the point. You see some really cool photos. Maybe you're looking at Brandon Waffles photos or whatever his name is. You see these cool bokeh shapes, and they're not the traditional circular shape. And the reason for that is because it's the bokeh is referencing the shape of your lens. It's that circular. Actually, no, technically it's referencing the blades. That's why sometimes when you have a cheaper lens and you have less blades, it's more octagonal.
You'll have a more angular bokeh. Interesting.
Exactly. Now, what you can do with that is you can get a piece of paper, cut out like a star. If you are able, I can't even draw a star properly, but if you can draw a star properly, cut it out, try to get it to the scale of the optic of your lens, like the scale of the lens, the furthest out lens, the one you can actually interact with. Overlay it, rubber band, take some photos. You'll notice that the bokeh is actually going to take on that form factor. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
That is cool, man. When we did this episode, I didn't think we were going to get cool ones like that. That's very creative and very interesting.
I thought you were going to give me shit tips, man.
I thought we were going to get crappy ones that I could have thought of myself. I didn't know. That's why we have two people on this podcast. Michael brings a lot to the table. I know you guys think that. No, just kidding.
I know he's just a pretty face and a shiny head, but he's got more to offer.
He's not just a shiny head and a nice pair of specs,
That's right.
I got a couple here that came from a recent shoot. These are pretty video related. I guess it could help you for photos sometimes. So two things, they both came from the same shoot. Number one, if you are a cool person who has a Canon camera, it's very likely that you will be able to flip your screen around. Maybe I'll even put a little picture of that up here. Cool camera, you can flip your screen around. If you're a Sony user, it's very likely that you cannot flip your screen around. Okay? So one way to... Dude, that one is pretty hard to argue. Most Canon models have it, and Sony.
We'll get there. It's okay.
Yeah,
we'll talk. Finish your tip.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Anyways, if you can't flip your screen around into like selfie mode to see yourself while you're shooting videos, one thing that you can definitely do to address that, very simple solution: put a mirror behind your camera. That way, you can look in the mirror and you'll be able to see that. Of course, you can also get like a second monitor for your camera, but that costs a lot of money. And mirrors, you already have one, so mirrors are free.
Mirrors are free.
Mirrors are usually free. Or you can always like steal a mirror as well. So
no, you can't.
It's a lot easier to steal a mirror than to steal a monitor, right? So
this is true.
Don't steal anything. Don't steal anything. Except my heart, which Michael has done. Anyways, the other tip that came from that exact same shoot, and this was a remote shoot where we were doing something similar to what me and Michael do here on The Brothers. I don't know if you guys know this. We're not in the same room when we shoot this.
There goes the magic.
So there goes the magic. So the person, the guest who we were speaking with on the interview that we were doing remotely, she was filming on her camera. It was a Fuji, I think. I'm going to say it was a Fuji, and it was overheating really badly. So we could shoot for like 20 minutes, and I guess like the room that she was in was kind of like a solarium or something, because it was just like, we'd shoot for 20 minutes, overheat, turn it back on, shoot for 10, overheat. And eventually I was just like, you know what? Throw that camera in your fridge. So she put it in the fridge. And this is like, this is not a recommended.
Canon hasn't approved this.
In Fujifilm. Fujifilm has not approved. No, I don't think any camera company will recommend that you put your camera in the fridge at any point. But it totally worked. She put it in the fridge for like 10 minutes, came back. We shot like the other half hour that we needed. And things were cool after that. So that's a camera hack right there. 2 of them.
Nice. Well, in all fairness, in Jared's defense, no phone company is going to tell you to put your phone in a bag of rice after you drop it in water. Really? So, I mean, no, you're not opening up the manual and seeing just like,
well, they want you to buy
images like jasmine rice and your phone. Yeah, I know. They want you to buy a new one, right? Yeah, and that's obviously the thing. Obviously. Built to break, not built to last. Sort of like Canon cameras. But one thing I wanted to
just because
you
broke
show you.
One.
Also, who were you referring? Were you referring to Corinne on our podcast?
Oh, no, totally different shoot that I was doing, man. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you referenced the podcast. I was like, she shoots Canon, man. So if that happened...
No. And her thing wasn't overheating. We didn't have to put that in the fridge.
No, I mean, maybe after. I have to double check. But I do want to...
I think you're overheating. We're going to have to put you in the fridge.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, I have better circulation now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say...
The old brain unit.
Exactly. Direct access. I do have a Canon camera. I don't know if you were aware of this.
T3?
It is. I think this is the newest one. This is the
the newest.
This is the
top of the line.
The R5 or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you notice. There actually is no articulating screen. There's no flip out screen. Yeah. Just needed to bring that to your attention.
Yes, Michael. And I don't know if you noticed, but had you paid more than $250 for a Canon camera, you probably would have that flip out screen. But anyways, do you want to just get to your next?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I didn't pay anything for it, so that's fine. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's worth. So, anyways, my third point is not editing. It is prisms and CDs, actually. Prisms and CDs. Really good friend of mine. I actually really want to have her on the show. Her name's Jess. I've referred to her more than enough times for sure. But we refer to her as the Prism Queen because she is so darn good at it, and it does take a little bit of work. But prisms are essentially these. You've seen them in science class. You've shine light through it, and you get like what's that famous rock album where you have like the rainbow that comes out of the triangle?
Pink Floyd's.
Pink Floyd, yeah, those guys, Pink Floyd. So, Pink Floyd's awesome. Love Money. But it's really cool. And now, one thing is, you don't necessarily have to go out and spend $25 on a prism. You can also use CDs to get a similar effect. It's not going to be the same. Prisms kind of have like a really cool replicating effect where you'll have like, when you angle it at just the right way, you'll get like whatever light sources are around you, and it'll kind of multiply and like form around your subject, whether it's a model or a product or whatever that is. It's really, really cool. CDs will do something similar again. It'll shine that light. It'll kind of split and add some interesting color, but a really cool one. And again, with the CD, it's not too hard to implement.
Nice, dude. Oh, I love how this one's panning out because like a lot of my hacks are more like practical and more like problem solving. And then a lot of yours are like more artistic, like bringing a next level to the work. So I really enjoy that one, man. That's really cool. And these are all things that I will definitely try out maybe like right after we shoot this. I've got another couple here, but I think that we kind of have to start getting, up into get into the news here pretty soon. I do want to mention one that is related to editing, though. So maybe we can get into, maybe you have another editing one after this one. But one thing that I have definitely done with my photos in the past, and I don't know if this like violates some sacred rule of editing, right? But this one happens a lot. If I'm doing like YouTube thumbnails, is one part will happen where there's like two people in the photo, or just like group photos where there's a lot of people. So let's say like you take a bunch of photos, and in like photo A, like people 1, 2, and 3 have a good face, and then like, you know, but the last person there was sneezing or whatever. So if I have like another photo right after that where that person's not sneezing, if I can, sometimes I will just like, and just like with leave like a nice kind of blurred out edge on that, not cut it like so hardcore, and then like paste that onto the photo. I've done it even like where there's two people in the photo, and I take the best photo that I have of person A, the best photo that I have of person B, literally cut it right down the middle, stack those photos together, and create like a composite photo for like the best face that I want.
It's a good tip, man.
Can be done.
It's like a 5-minute, not even like a 2-minute selection, and a half an hour healing brush. Just trying to get it to look right, but it does work. It does work. I'd say like
sometimes you don't even need a healing 60, brush, man, 70%. And that's the thing about like when you do cut the edges, just make sure that's like there's a little bit of gradient to where you're cutting, and you probably can just fucking put that stuff down. So,
and the lighting's gonna be the same, everything's gonna be the same, so it's probably not gonna be too much of an issue for you.
Shouldn't be.
Good tip, Jared. That was a good one. I guess on editing, the last one I'll give on the photography front is more so in Lightroom. Something I like to do a lot is use the color filtering options to really organize the stages that I'm in the editing process. So I'm not sure if this is common. I haven't looked it up or anything. It might be, but first thing I'll do is just to get through the photos. Let's get through, select the images that I like. It could be 4 or 5 that are kind of almost duplicate, but they work. Those are workable images. Select that as the first color. I think 5 or 6 is red. You just go through red, select the image that you want to go through. Boom, go through. Now you selected that as the next color in the sequence. I don't remember if it's blue or red or green or whatever. But anyways, you kind of just filter by the stage you're in. And then next to that, now you're going in, you're adjusting color, you're going from there. And then the final stage is really going in with that healing brush if you need to, and making sure that image looks perfect, the subject, whether that be a product or a person. But yeah, I love to use the color labels in Lightroom to help me organize myself.
Yeah, Lightroom in general is just friggin' awesome, man. And like for the longest time, I used like Photoshop a lot. And once I started using Lightroom, and like now I don't even, unless I'm like, in terms of editing photos, the last time that I even like opened Photoshop to edit a photo, like it's so much faster to do it in Lightroom. It's so well designed in terms of like bulk editing your photos too. Like those times when you get home and you've just like, you got really inspired that day and you have like 200 raw photos. You're like, and they're kind of all the same. And you're like, man, I need to really figure out which one of these ones is the best. And yeah, Lightroom is great for that. So we could probably do a whole episode on Lightroom tips and just like making that process a little bit faster. Yeah, that could be a good episode. In the future, on our road to 1,000 podcasts, I think once we get to 1,000, then we're going to take that TV deal and turn this into PHOTOBROs on. I don't know who we taking a TV deal from.
Here's what I'm thinking, Jared. I mean, we can go a couple routes. TV. I think streaming's where it's at. You know what I mean, I'm holding out for that Netflix special.
Oh yeah, dude. South Park just got $1 billion. They just got $1 billion.
What?
I think from Paramount. Yeah, they got $900 million. They're gonna create like 18 movies for Paramount or something.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's crazy. So look forward to that, bro. Look forward to that. It's all started here on episode, whatever this is, 20 something of the Photography Brothers. But
I think it's 34.
It's definitely not 20 something. It's definitely 34. Anyways, that's probably a good enough segue, I guess.
I think so.
I don't know what segue means, but let's get into the moose.
You know what segue means. Come on. You know what a segue is. You know what, like, a segue like Paul Blart or whatever. Like, all the segues.
Yep.
You know
I know all about segues.
Segue connoisseur over here.
I like how you're more stuck on that than when I said that we're going to get into the moose. But
you said the moose.
I said the moose.
So you don't know what segues are, and we're getting into the moose. Are you okay, Jared? Are you doing all right, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm okay, but I'm going to get through the rest of this episode. That's for sure. Yeah, let's try not to get too pissed, or at least I won't. Okay, here we are. It's the news. I did a lot of freaking research on this news. It's kind of getting flashbacks to our NFTs episode. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff here to unpack. And like I said, a story that's probably going to piss you off, especially if you go click on any of these links and go watch any of these videos. You're probably gonna get super pissed. Oh, man. But I think this is really important to talk about. A lot of we have some international listeners, and we also have some Canadian listeners. I see the charts. I see who's watching, who's listening. You guys can't hide from me.
It's kind of freaky, but okay.
That is weird, eh? Yeah.
I'm scouting the IP addresses.
I know it was you, Robert, who only listened to half of the last episode. Go finish it. It was a great one. Come on, John and Michael Bond came on. Like, let's go. Anyways, so here we go. This is the Fairy Creek, British Columbia situation, and probably Michael knows a bit about this now, as he read some of the news articles that I sent over. So this is not really going to benefit him. It's mostly going to benefit the listeners. I just want to, give you guys a bit of a summary. And as much as I did research this, as much as I possibly could, we're probably going to get a couple of things a little bit wrong. It is an evolving, very complex situation. And another thing that we should point out here is that Michael and I can only really speak on this from like our own perspective and like what we're reading in the news. I am Métis, so I am a little bit Aboriginal, actually. That is kind of part of my bloodline, part of my identity, part of my heritage, and part of the human being who I am. Michael is a caring and compassionate, let's say, ally.
Yes.
And I am mostly white as well, guys. I mean, I can't really lie. I'm not sitting here, Chief Jared over here. So, in some ways, I benefit from the stuff that's hurting the Aboriginal communities here, and that's why we have to talk about this stuff. So let's get into it here. The Fairy Creek is a area of land in British Columbia, and it is the site of a huge confrontation, what is on pace to become the largest act of civil disobedience, that's like protest, not following the law, in Canadian history. There's been over 800 arrests since this situation started. Basically, what went down, there is a old growth forest on the site of Fairy Creek. We are talking some trees that are like 2,000 years old. Irreplaceable, obviously. I mean, they're not irreplaceable. It takes 2,000 years to grow them. So if you cut them down, you got to wait 2,000 years to get those trees back. They store a lot of carbon, so this is like a big environmental issue. And there is a company that wants to cut these trees down. So they are called the Teal Jones Group. I think it's really important that everybody knows that. Maybe you have some stock in that company. Maybe you want to not have stock in that company anymore. We also have to talk about some other key characters who are going to come up. We have the Pashadat Nation, which is the nation that has, I guess, like treaty ownership of that area. And then we have John Horgan, who is the NDP what is he? The premier, I guess, for British Columbia. So some guy that we might all be writing emails to telling me sucks. Okay, so that's kind of bringing you guys up to speed on everything that's gone on so far. I guess before we get into the main, there's kind of a sub segment of this, which is the March on BC Parliament, which is the story that I really want to keep our focus on here. And we do have some great photos from that event. And it's also kind of like a more positive thing than just looking at the police beat people up. But yeah, what are you thinking of this story, Michael, from what you read and what you've heard?
Yeah, it's interesting because I hadn't heard about it until you brought it up.
Yeah.
And that does upset me because I feel like there is an issue with highlighting more like Canadian news. Sometimes, I mean, we found this a lot with like when Trump was in office. It was dominant. We need to understand what is happening on our side of the border, I think, more so. And this is something that I wish that we were seeing more on CP24 and maybe it's covered in a 10-second segment. But I do think that this is an important subject. And maybe it's because it makes the RCMP look bad. Maybe it's something along those lines. But
those clowns are making themselves look bad, bro.
They do make, I mean, for years, for years. But yeah, no, man. I mean, look, for me, I totally understand. That this is an important thing. I'm with the protests. I can't believe some of the photos and videos I'm seeing, especially the one with the masks being taken off, and that was unreal. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to have a conversation around it. Not necessarily, about the subject specifically, but to kind of hear your thoughts on it and to have a healthy conversation around what's happening.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, it's important to check out those videos. That's going to be the IndigiNews article that's linked below. You guys can check that one out and kind of see what the police have been up to a little bit. But I also think that you should check out the march on International Indigenous Peoples Day, which happened pretty recently on August 9th, actually. So these were protests at Parliament in British Columbia. It was an Aboriginal-led demonstration. Some key figures here, Rose Henry, who's an Indigenous leader, David Mungo Knox, another like Indigenous leader, Indigenous speaker, Indigenous community member who gave a speech at the event, and Bill Jones, who is actually a member of the tribe in question here. He's an elder of the Patchadat tribe, and he was there basically talking about how much he supports the blockade. He supports everything that the protesters are doing to stop the harvesting, the cutting down of these trees in the forest. So why I think that this is so interesting to highlight, well, first of all, like there's some beautiful photography here, which the article and the photography all done by the same person, which I think is really interesting. Definitely ties in with a lot of the things that we like to talk about on this show. Philip McLaughlin is the photographer journalist here who documented this event, and it's just so interesting to hear the people on the ground, what they're saying. I've got a quote here from Rose Henry and some other stuff from the other two leaders here, if you want to hear from them, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So Rose Henry, a quote from her that I think kind of sets the stage here. It was supposed to be a day to celebrate being Indigenous and for Indigenous people to stand united. The rest of the world is celebrating. Again, this is World Indigenous Day. And she says, what did we wake up to? The raid. That's like the police trying to kick out all the protesters. And she said, welcome to Canada. Let's throw on some bracelets. So like they're still going to kind of party. They're still going to enjoy themselves, celebrate, celebrate their ancestors, celebrate their identity, and at the same time, like protest. At the same time, kind of mourn this like shitty situation. There's no really other way to say it. It's really interesting to hear from Knox here as well. He was there showing his family copper, which is like something that he inherited from like his family, something that's been passed down since before Canada, before colonialism, and kind of represents like the potlatch and like the community coming together and all of that. And he was just talking about how all of Canada, all the nations within Canada, whether that's, the white people or all the various, immigrants that are here, or, the First Nations groups, we all need to come together and protect these forests and the wildlife around them. And this is the most important and interesting one to me. Jones, who is, like I said, an elder of the tribe in question here, the Pachadat tribe, he's saying that he defies the tribal leaders who have made arrangements to have this place have these trees cut down, and he calls out directly John Horgan and just says that he's been doing a crap job, basically. So I don't know, man. There's quite a few different angles here, and that's probably going to be the stickiest one here, is to talk about like the inner tribe politics. Like, I'm not going to really get into it here in terms of like my personal views, but like these people are saying, we're with the protesters. So I think that is very interesting, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can talk about the police brutality stuff too, man. I mean, it's not my favorite thing to talk about, but I think it is important. If you click the link down below, there is a Narwhal article and some really screwed up videos. If you guys want to go watch them, like, I'll give you a warning, they are not fun to watch. But what's going on in these videos, bro? You watched them? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, there's some great photos, great videos, like you mentioned. The one that was really, really annoying for me. Wow, I'm so privileged. It was annoying for me.
Got super annoyed by this.
Yeah, I know. A few provinces away, but I couldn't believe. I mean, there was the video. Yeah, I mean, actually, there's a couple videos here. I'm still scrolling through and rewatching these, but it's like, just taking masks, ripping masks off of people's faces. Yeah, man. It's interesting, and then ripping the masks off, and then they're spraying them and it's not one guy
off and spraying them with pepper spray too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bad stuff. I showed this to Masha, and she was like, "This is Canada," is actually what she said to me, right? She was like, this is this country. This isn't United States." Like, sad as it is, it's so messed up to say this. We're like used to that coming out of America, right? That like this like police brutality. It's pretty disgusting. I don't really know what else to say about it. And then that the reporting on this hasn't been great as well. I actually do want to call this person out. I gave them a chance to respond. Emailed them yesterday. They're a writer for the CBC, Roshini Nier. She's been doing some really crappy reporting on this. So we're just gonna call her out right here. This is crappy journalism. She basically said that there's accusations of police misconduct, police abuse. These aren't accusations. No. I don't know if we need to go over definitions here. But if there's video evidence of something, if there's video evidence of people ripping off goggles and pepper spraying people in the eyes, this is real. This is happening. So you can say in your article that it's happening, right? I just hate that. And then I also am really not a fan of, like, there's a line in here where she says that, like, the community, like the indigenous community, has asked them to leave. 100% not true, right? The council, yes, but are the people in line with their council? They're doing another protest, right, at Parliament, and this is like a native-led protest. So again, I'm not going to comment on the political situation within the tribe. I can just look here and say that that this reporting here has been pretty bad. I can't indict the CBC entirely though, because they do have some nice reporting by Adam van der Zwan, Adam Vander Zwan. I got a chance to chat with this guy on Instagram yesterday. So as much as we're going to call out Rashini here, we do have to call out or shout out, I guess. We're going to do a call out and then we're going to do a shout out for Adam. He's been doing some really great work, and he's actually been on the front lines. He's been down there to the protesters. He's not to the protests. He's not just, reading some stuff and piecing together an article, which I think is really cool. And he's been highlighting the police abuse and also how the RCMP down there has been trying to limit the press and limit their access and kind of cover up what they're trying to do. So, yeah, I guess, what are you feeling about that stuff, man?
Well, I'm glad that we have great access to cameras, and even if it's just on a phone or whatever, we have the ability to capture. Because like you mentioned, it's not being covered well by sources that we would typically believe should be covering it well. I mean, you'd think CBC would have it. Yeah.
You think we know about this, all the things that we know about that, that aren't important, that this isn't getting covered.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's. You mentioned something earlier, and it's so accurate. Even Canadians believe it, and that is that we are. It's almost like we have this belief that we're kind of a bit better, and not from an arrogant point of view, but we like to point the finger at the States and say that they're all messed up and they don't know what they're doing. Yeah. But I think Canada's just been really good at this. Canada's just been really good for years at covering up the shit that they've been doing. Great
PR, man. We're
yeah.
I talk to people who I'm just an accessible person. If you guys message me on Instagram, I'm going to talk to you. And I talk to a lot of people from around the world, right? Who either know me from this podcast or from my other content. And the way that they talk about Canada, I'm like, you guys got to come here and see what's yes, we have healthcare. There's more economic opportunity, but the perception abroad, that Canada is just everyone's so nice. These cops in these videos ain't nice.
We have very similar issues.
Me and Michael are nice, but geez.
Well, I'm just joking.
Depends, man. It depends. We can get not nice too if things aren't nice. But
when we start talking about Sony Canon, I think things start to go downhill.
Police brutality and Sony Canon. Those are the two big ones for me and Michael.
The big topics right now. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Anyway, as I said, I wanted to kind of bring some positivity to this. It sucks. And that's it. No, I think that these protesters are doing something really important here. And I think that this is, I honestly think it's going to be effective. I think that policy is going to change. If you look at the history of this type of stuff, there is, when you and I were 3 years old, man, this stuff was playing out. The Clayoquot Sound. There's one of our worst episodes for pronunciations, I'm sure. There was another site where a big logging company was going to come and clear out a bunch of BC forest, and protesters showed up and they stopped it. And now there's been, a bit of logging in that area, but also a lot of working with the tribes and ecotourism as well. So this is kind of where the positive can come in, is there's it doesn't have to be this argument, and people view it this way where it's the economy versus the environment, right? And it doesn't have to be like that. There's lots of different ways that we could get economic value from these forests. Number one, they're beautiful. Maybe that's not something that you need to think about, but that ecotourism thing, right? Having those forests there, historical forests, 2,000 years old, people want to come in, they want to see that, right? Instead of just cut them all down and sell that wood.
Yeah,
you see which one, has more long-term benefit. You know what I mean? So just, it's a shame that it's got to come to this, though, because we trust, it's stupid that we do, but we trust our government to to make these decisions and to represent us. And it sounds like they're doing a crap job. It sounds like a lot of systems have failed us here and got us to this point, right? The police have failed us. The RCMP has failed us. The media has failed us, and our political leaders have failed us. So that's where we're here. And who's going to save us?
Positive?
Who's going to save us? Michael, here comes the positive.
Okay.
Photographers, Michael.
Hey.
People like our good friend here, Adam Van Der Wan. I really hope I'm saying his name right. I'm probably not. And Philip McLaughlin. I want to give a huge shout out to those two guys. You guys are doing great work. And just so interesting that photographers are here, playing such a vital role. So it's cool.
Yeah. Agreed, man. And I do also believe that something will come out of this. And a large part of that is, like you mentioned, due to the fact that it's documented, that there's no going back. You can't deny what was happening.
Yeah.
But, again, like you mentioned, like the article's story title, it is going to, be fairly I guess what's the word I'm looking for here? It's going to, and I don't know if it's breaking records, but it's going to be and it already is a very large protest. It is known. It's going to continue to be known as we document and post and share. And so I think if that's something that we can do to contribute, share this footage around. The Narwhal article is a really good one.
For sure. Yeah, I shared it on Facebook. You guys can share it there. Please. Yeah, like this episode in particular, like, obviously we want our podcast to get reach, but, I don't really care. Like at the end of the day, I hope that people see like this story, this is an important story.
Yeah.
And, we try to do important work here on the podcast. So if you guys share this stuff around, then that would be helpful, because like I didn't know anything about this. My brother actually, shout out to Craig. My brother told me about this. I looked into it. I was like, man, this is a perfect story for us to cover. So thank you for that, Craig. And thank you, Michael, for, kind of trucking through this with me. I know it wasn't the most fun or positive news story that we could have done. But as I said, I think it is really vital. So I thank you for that, man.
Thank you for coming so well prepared and having all those stats.
I told you they piss me off, Michael. If they piss me off, they're gonna get researched. All right. So yeah. Anyways, don't be pissed off, guys. Don't be pissed off. If this episode made you pissed, why don't you go and check out something a little bit lighter, like Michael
Tokyo
Costa's
Smoke Shop. Oh,
YouTube. Oh, like that. It's overpriced. Michael's YouTube channel.
Yeah, the growing photographer.
Oh, okay, that one too.
I'm gonna plug that one.
Yeah.
There's also a music reaction, but I haven't posted there for a while.
You have
a new video coming out soon.
Exciting.
Got a bunch of creatives giving tips. So as we were here giving you some tips today, look forward to some more tomorrow on that channel.
Okay. Awesome. So make sure you guys go check out Michael over there. I will link that down below. If you want to check out some more fun stuff from me, you can check me out on the Metal Nerd, where Michael actually guested, and our video is doing well, man. You want to hear how many views this video has right now?
How many does it have right now?
484 views, bro.
Hey,
it's pretty good, right? Not bad. So go check that video out. K-Fan reacts to metal over on the Metal Nerd. Fun video, and I had to do a lot of editing on it, so please watch it. I don't know, anything else that we need to do or shout out or whatever?
Shout out to the Masha and the Dogs podcast. We usually do that.
It hasn't really. There's not been a new episode forever, but
there's some slurry of content there still. Right.
There's some good stuff and some new stuff coming. So if you guys want to check out, search that one on Spotify. I think that's pretty much it. Above all, share these news stories around, man, so that people know what the heck's going on in Fairy Creek. And until next time, what do we always say, Michael?
We say don't buy cannons. They don't have flip out
Oh
screens.
my God.
It's a lie.
Always
buy Sony.
buy whatever's in your heart. Okay. And also, see you next week.
See you next week.
Fucker.